What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Jovial Pursuit Podcast. I'm your host, Jovi. Welcome back, co-host Brandon. How we doing, Brandon? Wow.
Good.
That was... What's the meaning behind that?
We had big stuff we were gonna talk about. I'm just pumped for the discussion.
Yeah, right. We gotta get through a recap and stuff. Act like you want to talk about your week.
Okay, fine.
People care about your life.
It was a good week. They don't.
Bro,
They don't.
The way you got on the mic was like a child, like getting on the phone, like talk to your aunt. Hi. School been good. That's exactly how you got.
It was kind of like that, wasn't it?
All right.
Okay, fine. It was good. It's good. How's your week?
It's been a thing. I haven't told you yet. In between Tuesday 5 a.m. and I was up from Tuesday 5 a.m. to Wednesday 10 p.m. Like 41 hours or some shit. So yeah, that's how my week kind of started off.
Why though?
Body
you. Body just being like,
you want to
probably just like stay awake for it.
Jill asked me if I'm feeling like an episode's arrived because manic.
Oh.
When she brought that up, I proceeded to change my whole room around, like our bedroom, by myself while she's off at work. I was like, yeah, because I was like, all right, maybe this will tire me out. And you know what? I proceeded to stay up the rest of the day. This was at like noon that I did this.
Oh man.
Also paced for like an hour while on the phone talking to a buddy. A lot of pacing, a lot of cleaning.
Yeah.
So, if you look at my notepad, I'm in the midst of like random.
Oh
names.
yeah.
Yeah. No, my brain is. So that's where I'm at. It's been a bit of week. Yesterday, I almost missed a therapy session because I was so tired from the day before that I fell asleep, and Jill had to call me like three sometimes and text me, and I'm like, all right, let me hop to it. So I was late.
Yeah. Do you feel, I mean, this sounds a little bad.
Okay.
I always like the manic episodes when they hit with like bipolar. There's part of me that was always kind of like a little jealous of it because the productivity. I mean, when it's a bad manic, it's not good. It's like bad, yeah. But like when it's like a productive, like if you can channel it, I mean, it's a new level of energy and things you can do.
Hey, so I had the thought about it last night, quite honestly, and I'm like, kind of wish my episodes would come around a little bit more because I do get shit done. I've done a lot of mental work to like quelch a good portion of it, but I'm like, but when it comes around, oh man, I get so much done. I organized my garage and our little crawl space on the bro. I was doing everything under the sun and the moon.
That hey, everything just I will say the crash though, that's like when you come down and just
bro, I start to hit delirium where I'm like, what's even going on anymore?
Yeah.
And that's when Jill gets like, okay, I really gotta sit him down, like, because if he does it, because because of my other situations, like they start to intensify because I haven't rested.
Yeah.
So like all day for those, well, all for the 2 days, I was having like ridiculous heart palpitations and like getting ready to like literally crumble to the ground, like my knees buckling underneath me because they're like, I want no part in this. But my brain's like, we can keep chooching along, it's fine.
Yep.
You know, the brain said it, so okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my heart be fading though. It's not healthy, which kind of brings me to one of my scramblings this week.
Okay.
I keep coming back to it. People, go to your fucking doctors. Mainly men, because men fucking suck at this. I was included. Was. Past tense. I'm better about it now. Better than you.
Nice. Why do you have to that? Okay.
I didn't have to, but I'm like, it might put a little competitive spirit in some people. Where it's like, first of all, he just talked about how he almost collapsed after being up for 2 days. Who is he to talk? Mind you, part of the reason I can't sleep well right now is because I'm literally waking up dizzy. Like, it's like my equilibrium's so off that I can't even adjust in bed. There's only like 1 or 2 positions that I can kind of comfortably be in, and that's for a couple hours.
Before you go like vertigo? Sort of
And
thing?
yeah, I will wake up and have an episode.
Dang.
And that's not normal. But to that point, I have doctors that I go and see, and they're trying to figure it out. Speaking of which, I got a CT scan on Sunday of all fucking days. Yeah. I was like, oh, Jill, it shouldn't interrupt Jill's work week. But also, I'm like, I should have placed it for a different time because I got to be to San Diego at 8 in the morning. And,
Ooh.
well, actually, like 7:45 because I always went to there a little early.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I got to take off from my place like 6:45, and then I'm going to an avocado festival, so that'll be all right, I guess.
Which reminds me of something I learned this week.
Okay. Proceed.
Avocados from Mexico, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know who mainly runs the avocado world in Mexico?
Cartel.
Yes. Did you know that?
Yes. What? I wasn't just saying that to be biased or some prejudice. No, like I've literally watched like some of the video footage of like people getting held up like with truckloads. They'll get held up with assault rifles. It's a whole shebang. Yeah. It's a booming business.
Yeah.
All that avocado toast, it's got to come from somewhere.
Yep. And they're also like the main ones behind like the timeshare scams right now.
That I didn't know. Well, actually, that makes the most sense, but that's because they're kind of just running the show a little bit. I'm not going to talk about their politics because we have grifters running ours, so But interesting. At least the second part I knew the first part.
Yeah. Apparently, it takes a lot of money to run a cartel, and you're like, I guess these people were bribing. They want more money, so who are we gonna get it from? Timeshare people and avocados. So, like,
avocados make money, but they also like they take a lot of resources to make too. So it's
yeah. See, now I want guacamole though.
I'll be getting some fresh on Sunday.
That doesn't help me. This isn't about you. This is about me. That doesn't help me at all.
My bad.
Sounds cute.
Hi, Bob.
Stuck.
Oh, and you know what? It's never gonna be as good as it is out here.
Why?
It's
Why would
so
you?
delicious out here. That's the thing.
I am stuck in like the whitest, blandest place on the planet, and you're like, oh man, it's fresh. There's a
Bro,
culture.
we actually
There's
get ours fresh. Jill's job has avocado trees, so like some of the housekeepers will just pick them, or she'll go out and pick some and just bring them home.
I got a duck that's in a nest outside. Maybe I get some fresh eggs.
Man,
That's all I can. No, duck, you can't eat. No, it's a baby duck in there.
Maybe.
No, she already did the whole like
Oh,
find the bag egg and like kick it out of the nest and be like,
gotcha. Okay, so it's guaranteed. Like, there's some in there. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so there is a thing known as it's a fermented duck egg
Yep.
that is,
Yeah, it's a
partially
delicacy.
incubated, right? Why?
Mhm.
I watch so much weird stuff. Damn you, Discovery Channel. Or sponsor me, Discovery Channel.
Oh, I was like, yeah, just spin that one. Like, no.
But yeah, no, I mean they be eating that, and it
Mhm.
looks gross, and apparently it smells god awful. Just
I
It's-
can't imagine.
I'm not trying to hate. I like fresh foods typically, so I'm not trying to hate. I don't even like cheese like that for real. Like cheese is okay, but I'm like, ugh. Some of
I will say there's certain foods where you see them and you're like, ooh, no. Like my body's already trying to get like
if you think
it's
I'm
like a
eating
weird.
chitlins, you got me fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. And when I found out that some people don't wash theirs, they're like, wash them. What you mean? What you mean wash them?
What?
Excuse me. You are not washing your chitlins? Why would I? So I'm not coming to this cookout ever. Thankfully, I never ate them to begin with, but oh yeah, people be out here trifling. This is
Man. So my wife one time, like, so I don't know if you and Jill have ever had these discussions where you gotta like have like a code for certain things that show up. My wife and I went to a dinner party one time with some friends who they were like, we'll entertain you, and I was like, oh, that's great. And they had lots of different pets, mostly reptiles. And I'm not so I may or may not have food poisoned myself on a couple different occasions just being dumb. One of which being in a certain foreign country where everyone knows you should not drink the water, and I wanted a nice fresh salad, and my wife was like, I wouldn't get salad, and I was like, honey, salad's fantastic, it's good for you. And she was like, what do you think they wash it in? And I was like, water. And she was like, right. And I was like, oh, and I kid you not, 12 hours later I was like, you were right. I was so bad. But another time we went to this dinner party and these people had like reptiles for pets, and the snakes like crawl around in their stuff, right? And so one of the people was like making the food, and I'm trying to be polite, and they're like playing with the snake as they're like hand tossing a salad. And I kid you not, my wife, like, they come to the dinner table. I didn't see any of that happen. We come to the dinner table, and my wife, she goes, like, I dish up, like, they dish up, and I'm like, oh, do you want some salad? And she goes, no, I'm good. And I was like, honey, this is like, are you sure? And she was like, we're good. And so I ate all of mine after they're like hand tossing after playing with a snake, right? And my wife, like, after, like, when we leave, she's like, they were playing with snake, I'm sorry. And I was like, you didn't tell me? You saw that happening.
You didn't see it?
No. That's why I was
Okay. You got a little bit more. You got a little great because I was about to,
No,
bro.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't see any of it until afterwards, and I was like, "That's in my body right now.
I'm like,
How
bro,
could you
your
not
white side
tell
is
me?"
coming out. You saw that? You're like, honey, don't be rude. No, I think I'm good. And you're just like, snake salad.
That's what we nicknamed it. It is an incident now where we're like,
Bro, because they
remember the
are
snake
known to have
salad
E.
incident?
coli.
I know. And she didn't warn me. She saw it all go down and she saved herself and let me suffer. And thankfully, I didn't get anything. I mean, I didn't feel great because I think it was mostly like anxiety about like
Churn in the stomach.
But it was one of those where I was like, honey, if you ever see something that I don't see and it could harm one or both of us, you gotta like tip me off and be like,
At least like kick my shin or something. Because,
yeah,
like,
something.
yeah, nah, I think I'm good. But I mean, they're gonna get that one. So I to that point to answer your question, I have a look.
Okay.
Well, if I'm not gonna partake in something, Jill's gonna have to know about it. And she'll know why when I have. If I hit her with the bombastic side, you know what? On second thought, no.
I felt utterly betrayed.
As you should. As you should. She should have told you. Come on now. You could have got you, boy.
Yep.
You know I'm talking to. Come on. Oh goodness. So I think I covered most of the recap stuff. We got a couple of topics to get into. Oh, right. And I asked you which one sounded better to you, and you were just like, say whatever's on your heart. Well, I said I had stuff on my heart. You said say whatever. I'm like, okay. So I have these two concepts that in my self-reflection this week I've been going over. It's been purpose and how fucking painful it is to heal. Two things that aren't really dove into enough in general, where people really don't have a basis to like go off of. And that led me to think which one comes first. And I find, depending on your situation, it could really be either. But for me, I needed to heal from certain things to even have bits of myself revealed to me, which becomes where, the focus of where my purpose thing takes me. It's like, all right, so what am I, one, innately gifted with, just being who I am, and then two, what do I want to do with it? So the first part is something you don't control, really. It's just your character. You can only change slight bits for real. Yeah. Unless you're really going hard. But there's the innate you that you're just born as. And that's taking and really picking apart those different pieces of you and how it all culminated together. And then there's the part that now do something with it. Now, what do you want to do with it? What did all that you learned about yourself in that time of and then this is where healing comes in. For me, it was like in my time of healing, I found these purposes, like I mentioned, that what do I now want to do with them? So when like often people ask the question like, what is my purpose, or where does my purpose come from? It's people are neglecting the self-reflection point that really needs to happen in that. Like you can't just ask the question and then not really answer it. You really got to dive in. So I've been doing a lot of that. And then, there's naturally the parenthood aspect that's coming that really makes me want to go into it, because there's certain things that I know I want to teach our daughter that weren't taught to me, that will make it a little bit easier going forward. Maybe not always. She'll have to decipher time and place of when that comes into action, but at least giving the tools of such. So now I need to hone in these things that I've learned about myself,
Yeah.
which is now crafting my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was thinking, well, how does it happen in the opposite sphere? And I kind of just took it as, all right, take parenthood as another example. You find purpose in that, and it's not necessarily always healing in the moment, but there will be healing through time. So then the purpose then takes the precedent before the healing. The healing just becomes the background note that happened. Any thoughts so far? Any chime ins? You just hit me with a lot of
It's good. Like, this is like, it's good stuff. I mean, you're walking this path. Like, go for it.
It sucks though, because you see certain things not only in yourself but in others, and it's now the challenge of like, do you keep the same pattern, or do you work hard to change it? Do you use the actions and lessons that you now have to move things, even if it is moving others in a way that they don't know? Listen, everyone knows I'm kind of with the manipulation game for good purpose, where it's like, no, hear me out. I know that change has a domino effect. So in the idea of having that and purposely changing myself, I know it's going to change those around me one way or another. It is. So that's just the natural course of life. So I'm do what you want with that. But it's never to the point of like, you shouldn't try and like press a subject as much as you want to. And this is one thing that I'm working on in all of this, is because I hold communication at such a high value that even in some areas of my life, it is pressing upon people. But to me, it's for the greater good, even though they don't see a benefit. I've made a choice to not. I'm not going to stop my pursuit of good communication if that kind of pushes you out of the way. That's just the mutual happenings of it, because you don't want something to happen and I do.
Yep.
But again, that can be painful, because that goes against what I've previously done, which is compromise to the point of it's only 10% mine and 90% theirs, and it's not really good. It's a compromise still, but not a good one.
Right.
So now recognizing there are some things you just truly don't compromise on, being one thing that I want to instill. But like, you can't just, how do I explain it? The give and take notion of it. It can seem self-destructive at first.
Which part?
You are essentially giving up yourself to take on a new version of yourself.
Yes.
In and of that is taxing to oneself. How do you like grapple with the change outside of just dealing with it, but it's like it's difficult. And that's one thing that I want people to truly know is like it's I'm saying painful, hard, difficult because it is one of the most challenging things that you'll continue to do throughout your time on this earth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be better not only for yourself but the community around you, which is lacking. I mean, it starts to be the individuals, and they start creating communities, and that sprouts off more and more. And I think that's what I'm looking to do, even with this whole project here. Is, you know, we laugh and joke about some dark stuff, but we also talk heavily and deeply about, you know, in intensive mental matters, or things
Mm-hmm.
like this, where it's like it's such a complicated system, but it has to be discussed and found. We have to find ways to break it down to get it. It can't
Yeah.
just be like left to its own device. It's we're never gonna improve that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's what I really like about our notion toward this is we have a good time, you know, laugh and joke, but also there's very serious moments that really need to be discussed because in the broader spectrum, no one's talking about it.
Yeah.
I need you to chime in at some point.
Uh, it's it when you think about that healing part, I think purpose for me in a lot of that it's almost like you start defining the purpose of healing and working on your own stuff. Like you start with like a little bit and you're like, I think I know this should help, and this theoretically, like if I heal and work on these things, it will impact how I interact with others, or how I care for others or don't care for them, or how I'm impacted by them around me. But I think it's when you start taking those steps of like embracing the pain of healing and working it through, like not necessarily like avoiding the discomfort, but really just um like really, when I say embracing it, I really do mean like, no, if it feels just uncomfortable and there's some discomfort there, running towards it and actually being like, okay, like why is it uncomfortable? What does it hit? What doesn't it hit?
Fight
Why
back.
am I yeah, like why am I reacting the way I am? Why am I not, like, in sort of processing through it and healing? Then I think what happens is that idea of like the purpose, it becomes clearer the more you get on that path,
Mm-hmm.
because you get, I think for all of us when we're working through the healing part, it's really confusing when you start out because it's so like everything's really foggy and how you're impacted by it all. And then you move. What are you doing? You're like steepling your fingers. Okay.
Listen.
It's like really, it's like it's so confusing right away because you
Mm-hmm.
can't quite see it. And then as you heal and you move out and zoom out from like that pain and the things you need to heal from, you can see it clearer. And that's, I think, where the purpose becomes clearer, and the purpose for the pain,
Mm-hmm.
where you go, oh, this is why I'm working through this. It's because this is how it impacted me. This is how it continues to. This is what I need to deal with. So it stops now. So I don't keep like, in a way, I don't know, sharing the pain other ways. Because for me, in all of the areas where I've needed healing, if I don't deal with my own, it just means I'm like hitting everyone else's pain and like inflicting,
Mm-hmm.
like just inflicting more pain all around me, instead of being like a source of comfort or like a safe space to go, yeah, I know why you do the thing. It's because I do the thing too, and I get it. It's no one's wandering out every day doing certain activities, or whether it might be if they're like um more conflicted. No one wakes up in the morning. Well, some people might, but most people don't wake up in the morning going, how can I make other people's lives worse today?
Yeah.
Or how can I hurt emotionally?
Hmm.
How can I hurt other people like verbally? Like it's
Right. It's usually subconscious, and it's how can I be more, not, it's in the act of being selfish
mm-hmm.
that it comes up. There we go. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
And I think like the purpose, like that pain, like it's painful, but it was painful to get there anyway. Like it takes pain to have those wounds that cause us to think, feel, and do certain things,
Hmm.
and it's gonna hurt just as much um getting out of there. And that's what's really tough. Is it's gonna be, it was painful getting into that situation, it's gonna be painful getting out, but at least getting out and healing it, there's that you'll find more purpose in what you're doing.
Hmm.
You'll find more purpose in the relationships that you're in, and then you'll find even kind of the greater meaning that you want to create out of it.
Also, don't get too hung up on it.
Mm.
That's part of the thing is, like, I know some of us have had aspects of our purpose that we've held on to since youth, and that's
Yeah.
something that we always wanted. But to find either the next step or the true purpose, you kind of have to dismantle that previous notion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, again, one of those difficult challenges that many of us don't like to look at, because it's, again, giving up part of who we thought we were.
Mm-hmm.
I I found that there's ways to fine tune things, or look at them differently. Like, how can I now, in the aspect of my life, still obtain this? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not focus it as my full purpose, but as an aspect, because as we
Mm-hmm.
grow, we'll find that there's other things that become perched on that purpose mantle.
Yeah.
So yeah, giving up some of those things, I really find that that's one of the most difficult portions of it all.
Mm-hmm.
It's that, like, Stockholm syndrome to the pain, to your
Yep.
own pain.
Mm-hmm. There was a great documentary. Um, it was called Forgiving Dr. Mengele. Did you ever see it at all?
No, but he was one of those real fucked up doctors, wasn't he? I'm trying to remember. I've heard the name before
Yeah.
of that doctor. I know I've heard that name.
Like, yeah. So he was a physician who did human experiments in Nazi prison camps.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that, and oftentimes when there were siblings or twins, those were the ones that he just had all
Yeah.
sorts of sadistic human trials on. But it was this recounting of these two different approaches of one person that had been experimented on by him, forgiving, and the other person just sort of identifying with this like holding on to this pain, which was very real.
Mm-hmm.
but this identification of like what we've gone through, it's tough, because I really wish we could just like hold on to that pain and use it for something, but a lot
You
of times it
can.
just become I mean, you
You
can.
can.
Don't, why are you looking at like that's like the imagination sort of look
Don't
like.
worry about it.
But it becomes like this self-destructive identity
Yeah,
where
more times than
it's
not.
like when you don't heal from things, and process through them, you stay stuck wherever you are. And in that, like, um that's kind of why, like, even with like PTSD treatments, a lot of times it's reprocessing through what we've gone through to let it sort of be dealt with, and leave it there. Like that's a part of like a chapter in the book.
Got that
But I don't
EMDR.
like well, yeah, I mean EMDR, there's a ton of
Your
different
boy
approaches.
learning a little bit from. I got a wife who's in the field, so I be picking off some stuff.
Because like the danger with things like trauma is if it turns into like a worldview where it
Mhm,
becomes almost like this term complex PTSD.
mhm.
It's that's kind of where trauma turns into this worldview where it's like all you see. And so if someone doesn't like call you within like 20 minutes, you're like, that's because they're like rejecting me or something. You know, that wasn't you, just so you know. Like, full disclaimer. That's
It's
that.
just one of those that the shoe fits. Damn.
Well, no, like
Cinderella, that
in
bitch. Fuck.
no, it's it's like even for me when I've gone through things like
Mhm.
where if someone pulls away relationally, um, some of the things that happen in my mind are like anxiety about like, oh, are they withdrawing, and like what, and I have to go through this like, no, okay, hold on, let's rewind here. I'm not. I'm not. This isn't this. This
Right.
is not the exact same situation. Feels similar, but it's not the same. So come on, brain, we can do this. And that's part of
Oh,
healing, though.
yeah.
Why are you smirking about this?
I'm so upset with you.
Why?
Cause I know exactly what you're talking about is why. That's because I'm like, yeah, you're talking about yourself, but again, shoe is fitting like properly. Like, man, cobbler did it.
Well, well, well. Here, the other thing though is that's a common experience for so many
Yeah.
people. So like if we took like an internet poll and everyone in the US answered like, "Hey, do you get a little nervous when you feel like people are withdrawing relationally from you?" I mean, what percentage do you think people are going to be like, "Shoe fits here." Like,
Oh, especially with social media these days. Yeah, like a solid 95%.
right. So
Because the other
it's
half are they truly don't care. Man, I aspire. I'm not jealous. I once was, but now it's something I aspire to not give that many fucks in life.
I I like to choose who I care about what they're doing.
Oh, fair.
You know,
Absolutely.
like there's like if someone random on the street said
Yeah,
something, I'd be like, mm,
whatever.
yeah.
But no,
Certain
when you
people though,
ignore me,
like,
you know what I mean? I might take it to heart sometimes.
I mean, that doesn't even
Because
happen
you
that
be
much. Pull up your receipts, do it.
double check. It's always time to, double check. It's just you sent me the fucking dog thing. I've seen
I
that
wasn't.
before.
I have no idea why that hit my funny bone so hard, but I was like
Because
crying.
you've done that blah 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 voice before you. You're a goon, dude.
Automatics.
Oh, it doesn't help because I look at you as a bit of a mentor because, and this is not something that you have signed up for. It's something that I've pressed upon you. Where no, because if I find somebody who's got great characteristics that I want to learn from, I'm gonna learn. You don't have a choice in if I'm gonna learn or not. So I can give the title mentor because I want to. It's because I like it. I like to show the respect that I am a student and learning certain things from them until I've come to a point in matching those things, then we're just cohorts, it's regular old colleagues in the field doing other stuff, passing on the message of seeking good therapy.
There you go.
So I'm
Does
reading
that?
this stinking book.
Yeah.
Reading this
Oh,
book. Brandon's got me reading this book. Now, there's a lot of jargon in here.
tons.
There's a lot of case work and stuff like that I just kind of want the information without I trust your research, I do.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever ask me about it, just know I'm not going back and looking into every single one of these studies,
Oh yeah.
because I might as well just go back to school if that's the case. Also, I'm grappling with this whole thing of going back to school. It's really getting on my nerves. I told Jill about it like a month and a half ago. Now she keeps chiming in from time to time. Y'all, I don't like this little thing right here. You're setting me up, and I don't.
Dude, let's rewind so far the discussion today, because there was a moment that you went. Now, this might be a little forward. You went full on Black Mr. Rogers, took off your like shirt as you
Shut
were
up.
like
Shut up.
as you were like going deep on like talking to people that need to hear it, and it was good, and I was like,
Nah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It is. I'm like, he's got like everyone needs to hear it, and it's good.
No, I put that jacket on. Side note, I'm a brand ambassador for somebody now. Woo woo.
Nice.
You know the company that I keep, wearing new stuff from all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, them. So I'll be doing like little reels here soon. But I'll be dropping the code, buy some, help your boy out. It's a black owned company. They got great designs.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all saw the coat.
Yeah.
See the shirt. It's good stuff. So check out Dion. There we go. That's my little plug real quick. But listen, don't call me Mr. Rogers. Don't tell me, because I might have my slides on. Leave me alone.
I need you to run that back and tell me you don't catch that.
Bro, I saw your eyes light up when I was taking it off, and I was like, I'm saying something here. Don't get sidetracked.
And I didn't. I held on to it until just now, because I was like, this is disrespectful if I'm gonna like completely undermine it with something like
a roast.
Yeah. But it was because you remember, like, Mr. Rogers was kind of one of those characters that like was like, you guys need to hear this. We're gonna have a moment, and it's gonna be like organic and real, and it was meaningful. Like, even like the iconic, like him and the mailman like washing their feet together. Like, that's iconic to me, of like,
that was actually a historic thing. If I'm not
yeah.
I don't remember the full context, but it was like a real big deal.
Yeah, because it was like one of those. It was like one of those moments where like you need to hear this. Everyone needs to hear this. I'm just gonna help sort of shepherd you along right into the conversation, and you were doing that, which I really appreciate. It was like the removal. I was like, oh,
let's get serious.
Yeah,
get serious. He's in there.
Just like,
he's in the pocket.
Yep. Like it was like one of those where I don't know.
Such a
like,
proud coach.
That's not it. I was like, it was.
You're such a proud coach.
Your voice and the messages that you carry impact so many people, and so it's not necessarily like this like coaching thing. It's like, man, you like, people need to hear that, and you have this amazing ability to connect with them, and this amazing ability to speak to them. So that's more of what it was.
Well, I'm glad we get serious from time to time, because people might think that, they just out here talking about bullshitteries all the time. I mean, we get to both ends of the spectrum. It gets full on ridiculous, and then also in a quick turn we'll be like, now
now we need to go like
Last week,
right
as
to
an
the heart of
example,
things.
that was a straight lecture.
Right.
Because I was like, how do we recover? And you're like, nah, we gotta prove we could be serious. So I just hopped into it.
Yeah.
But these things been on my heart all week. It's been because I'm like, it's common misconceptions all over the place. But to my point, there was something I meant to say earlier of like, men go to the hospital. I was watching a video earlier, and this proves how ingrained our embarrassment is as men to the medical system. This 60-year-old gentleman fell and broke his hip, and took him a while to go get checked out. But then once he got there, he had his x-rays done, and they could see the fracture. But also, they could see a print, if you will. His print, if you will. Now, you're thinking, that's not supposed to show up on an x-ray because it's muscle and tissue. Well, there's a reason to call it a boner. Because in that hip break, and time in between, his body started healing things, but also started sending too much calcium to his nethers, to the point in which it was calcifying, and there was a complete outline around his manhood. And the doctors are like, well, is it painful? Why didn't you come see a doctor? He's like, yeah, I admit it was pretty painful, and I was just a bit embarrassed to really come in, but my hip was really bothering me. Sir, if excuse my friend, if my dick hurt, I'm going to the doctor. Okay, back to the hernia story. I got a couple minutes. Back to the hernia story from a couple weeks ago. The reason I even went is because there was a fatty mass that was accumulating in my scrotum. And I stayed hush on that for nearly 2 years until it started growing and getting painful.
2 years?
Come to find out, I didn't even know I actually had a hernia. They're like, yeah, no, you got like a tear in your muscle fiber. Like there's a hole in your muscle fiber, and you've got fat leaking through that's going down. So I had to patch that up. And I'm like, at this point, I make sure if there's anything going on, doctor, here I come. You gonna get this insurance money. I'm not playing around, especially for one kid. I'm like, I can't be playing games. So stop being little bitches for real, man. What's wrong with y'all? Seek help. Get on my nerves. That's kind of my good advice. Oh no, actually, my good advice. Okay, for all the parents, I'm gonna be talking parenthood for a while because I'm getting in there. Y'all gonna dislike it. I don't care. You need to hear it anyway. Cry in front of your kids. Not all the time, but show them that it's okay to cry. We can't just tell them it's okay. We have to be like showing them. Otherwise, it's just words, and they will be like, well, mommy and daddy don't cry. Well, yes, the fuck I do. And you gonna see these tears from time to time if there's a problem. But we can have a discussion that it's okay to shed some tears. Pain hits in so many different ways, and it becomes overwhelming, and we shed. As a release function, we shed. So I shed tears, you shed tears. It's cool. Parents, don't just like say it, do it. Actions. Fucking actions. Alright, I think that's all I got for you this week, man. It's a hodgepodge of where my brain's been.
It's good.
All right,
good stuff.
Peace and love.